Cliff Jumper, commence countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, ToyCast with your hosts, TFG1 Mike and Optibotimus.
Thank you, Megatron, for that introduction. Yes, that's right. I am TFG1 Mike, and ToyCast is sponsored by BigBadToyStore.com, where the geeks go. And right now, I'm going to be telling you about some latest Dark of the Moon, Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon listings on BBTS. We have the Cinemask of Bumblebee for $11.99, Cinemask of Optimus Prime, $11.99, Cyberverse Action Set Series 01 Bumblebee with Mobile Battle Bunker, $16.99, Cyberverse Action Set Series 02 Megatron with Blast Wave Weapons Base, $17.99, Cyberverse Action Set Series 02 Optimus Prime with Armored Weapon Platform, $17.99. Cyberverse Commander Series 01 Sentinel Prime, $9.99. Cyberverse Legion Series 01 Autobot Skids, $6.99. Cyberverse Legion Series 01 Autobot Topspin, $6.99. So, pretty much really some good deals here from Big Bad Toy Store for new Dark of the Moon toys. Cyberverse Legion Series 02 Leadfoot, $6.99 pre-order. Deluxe MechTech Series 01 Roadbuster, $13.99 in stock. Some Voyager MechTech listings. We have MechTech Series 01 Case of 4, which includes Megatron, 2 Optimuses, and Ironhide for $89.99 in stock. MechTech Series 02 Case of 4, which includes Shockwave, Skyhammer, and 2 Optimus Primes, $89.99. Voyager MechTech Series 03 Set of 3, Shockwave, Sentinel Prime, and Optimus Prime Redeco, $74.99. So there you go, folks. There's some listings from BBTS. Be sure to check them out, BigBadToyStore.com. Be sure to check out GeekCastRadio.com. Now, here's the show. This is ToyCast. I am TFG1 Mike, and joining me for this week's news episode is Optibotimus. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, evening, and good morning.
Yeah, something like that. It's one of those three things everywhere in the world at some point or another.
I mean, it's afternoon here, and over in the UK, it's like morning or something, so it's backwards.
It's actually 10 o'clock at night over there. They're 5 hours ahead of the eastern seaboard, so...
Oh, well, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to them crazy foreigners. I love a lot of them, though.
Yeah. So, what the hell has been going on with you? It's been a while since you've been on the show.
Ooh. What has been going on? Not much of anything. I really kind of had a very, it's been busy, but it's boring. Work related, a lot of hockey stuff. A lot of it has been hockey stuff. And that's really, it's boring.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Red Wings hashtag is gone now.
God. Well, hopefully if, see now there's a little bit of history here. You know, the Red Wings are obviously out of it, which upsets me, but, the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is, now ran by a former Detroit Red Wing. His name is Steve Yzerman.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, great guy. He's the embodiment of everything that was good about the Red Wings during the 80s, 90s, and early part of 2000. And he's over there running things at Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay was a dismal team before his arrival, and now they're looking really good. So we got our fingers crossed that Tampa Bay will do it. They're They're a little bit further. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So our fingers are crossed. So us Red Wings fans, still have something to look forward to.
So I don't think I've ever really asked you the genesis of this, but explain how the hell Team Bottomus came about. Like, not just, like, I know you, like, I mentioned to you about doing a fan page for it, but, like, start from the beginning.
You know what? It's one of those things where I honestly don't even specifically remember how it started. There's a guy that follows me on Twitter. His name is James Hannigan. I can't ever say
Jamie
it.
Hannigan, yeah.
Hanna. That's what I'm just gonna call him. I affectionately call him Jimmy Boy. Now,
Okay.
Jimmy Boy was always talking about, doing things like that and creating, fan pages and stuff. This was before you even came up with the idea.
Right.
And I've toyed with the idea for a little bit, but I'm one of those kind of people that I don't particularly like admitting, I guess, that I have fans. Now, it's with BotCon rapidly approaching and people constantly messaging me, asking me if I'm going to be there because they want to meet me. I think the reality of me having a fandom is sort of sinking in a little bit more. So, that being said, it's a play off of the whole, the Team Conan when that whole thing was going down with Conan O'Brien and various other network television studios and such.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like a play off of that, where it initially was going to be either your Team Bottomus or your Team PR or your Team JT Mitchell. And it never really picked up with anybody else except for just me. So it's just one of those things where if you're, I don't want to necessarily say a fan of mine because it's primarily made up of people that I consider friends, I suppose. So
Yeah.
if you're a friend of mine, you're kind of in Team Bottomus, and that was well, and I guess I should say it goes even further back than the whole Team Conan thing because there was the whole with Twilight.
Oh, God. Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it goes back further. The whole origin of, team whatever, goes back to way back.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
thing.
my God.
So,
Let's distance ourselves from that crap.
I was trying to.
Yeah.
So that being said, they started doing that, and then, several local friends of mine joined me on a Ustream a couple times, and they were affectionately nicknamed the Mexabots because they're Mexican, and they're part of Team Bottomus. So it was just this really kind of goofy thing, and those two guys decided they're like, we want to make it a whole fan page for Team Bottomus, and I'm like, I don't care what you do, just go ahead and do it. But then they kind of went retarded and they didn't do it, and
yeah, and that's when I said I'm gonna fucking do it, and then I never did it.
it just kind of kept getting pushed off, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just do it, but I'll let you guys run it and do whatever you want with it. So I was bored one day, and I made it.
Yeah, I mean it's just honestly what it is it's just a place for all of your friends, whether they're the friends that you know where you live or the friends that you have online. I don't see it as people that comment on your YouTube videos that you just don't know, just random I don't see it as random people. I see it as people that you interact with on a daily or weekly or whatever basis. That's what I really see it as. It's more so for, all of us people who are friends with you can gather and become friends with each other. So that's the way I really don't even see it as an actual fan page. I mean,
It's a
It's what?
It's a clubhouse where people just kind of hang out. But
okay, wait a second. I wish you hadn't even said that because now I'm getting all these rascals flashes in my head. Okay, the He-Man Woman Haters Club, and who's Alfalfa and who's Spanky? Oh my God!
we don't need to start. We don't need to name names or anything. But I think Mikey would like being Alfalfa. Just saying. Just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. But no, you're right. It's I mean, but I it's one of those things where it could grow into something else. I suppose just because of the nature of the way everything works. But right now, initially, it's just like you said, just a fun place to kind of hang out where everybody who kind of knows me, it's like a hub where you can meet other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the the Match.com of.
I was gonna say you need to be really careful how you're gonna phrase this.
Yeah, it could be misconstrued horribly, but I don't think we have any females a part of Team Bottomus, so I think.
The way I saw it when I asked you about it originally, the way I saw it was, it's a way for the rest of us that do videos, like me, like Spada,
Right.
whoever else does videos. I know a few of the other people do videos as well, like Bob. The way I saw it was, it's a way for us to share our stuff with each other through you. So it's kind of like, instead of asking you to, oh, hey, can you promote this video on your channel for 2.5 days? It's kind of like, oh, hey, here's our channel, and here's what we have going on. And it's kind of, like you said, it's a hub of information and friendship, pretty much.
Yeah. And it just has my name kind of stuck to it, which, I mean, it didn't need to have my name, but, I mean, it could.
Well, the logo's pretty cool, so, I mean, yeah, it needed to have the name.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Jimmy Boy's the one who made the logo.
Yeah.
And he actually made a couple of the other ones. He made the one with Burger.
Burger approved. I saw that.
Yeah.
So cool.
It was pretty good, and I had toyed with the idea, because BotCon is coming around. I had toyed with the idea of creating business cards that I could hand out to people at BotCon, and toyed with the idea of having that logo on it, but I've been too lazy, and.
Well, get your ass in gear. BotCon's less than, 2 weeks away?
Yeah, one.
Yeah, no, it's like 2.5 weeks away.
Yeah, two weeks and 2 days. So 16 days.
Yeah, so.
Get
your ass in gear.
That's money. I'm lazy. I don't want to deal with it. But yeah, so that's the story of Team Bottomus.
It is time for the news. Yes, that's right. And first up, we have Necca Gremlins Mogwai prototypes.
Mogwai.
This is right up your alley.
It is because I'm a big fan of Necca. That's not a secret. And I love how a company, I don't care what company it was. I mean, McFarlane's kind of done some stuff, but Necca really has grabbed these, what I'll dub as cult classic type of movies, and given them decent figures form, things that, and if anybody's watched my Terminator reviews, I've specifically said that I've waited 20 years to have decent figures from these movies, and the Mogwai, just the Gremlins figures in general, all look fantastic, but it's one of those things where I'm nervous about getting them because I'm afraid that it's going to turn into I have to get every single one of them. And
so far there's only 4 or 5 of them, or 6 of them, or whatever. So I mean, that's not that bad.
Yeah, but I mean, they could vary. Well, and that's true. I mean,
and it depends on the price, obviously.
Well, now I don't think that I think these are obviously going to be smaller size figures. I don't know the actual scaling on them, but they don't look too big. At least I mean. I don't know. I don't know. The regular, like Gizmo and Mohawk and all these little guys, those are much smaller than when they turned into the ugly ass Gremlins.
Yeah.
So
in this series for NECA, Series 1 and Series 2, we have Mohawk, Gizmo Rambo mode, Gizmo regular mode ×2, Lenny and George.
Right.
I really need to rewatch Gremlins and Gremlins 2 because I do not know who the hell Lenny and George are.
Well, Lenny and George were in Gremlins 2. They were kind of like the you remember what was that movie that it was Michael Keaton? I want to say it was Multiplicity.
Yep.
And how after a certain amount of time, the genetic material got a little watered down.
Yeah.
And you got the goofy version towards the very.
Okay. I know. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's kind of what you're dealing with Lenny and George, and there were absolutely hilarious little characters. Mohawk was always kind of the badass. And then the Rambo version of Gizmo was when Gizmo decided he needed to go and beat all these other ones up. Yeah, pretty much kick ass. All of them look fantastic. I'm actually kind of impressed that they look like they are decently articulated, but
I can't wait to actually see an actual color image of these, because right now these are just prototype, like white images. I mean, they're just white figures right now.
Well, if you look on that link that you gave me for Toy Art, they have a couple colored images. And if you scroll all the way down,
oh, okay, yeah, okay, wow.
See how he's kind of, a lot of people sit there and, I look at that and I see Mudflap.
You look at, wait, which one?
Lenny, scroll all the way down.
Yeah.
The big buck tooth looking guy. That's Mudflap.
It's either Mudflap or Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah. And if you actually click on that same link on there, and obviously you'll put all these in here where applicable. There are 360 pictures of these guys. I'm looking at Lenny specifically.
Yeah.
The coloring on these things looks really good. I'm really kind of impressed, and I'm even looking at it, and I'm wondering if his ears are actually articulated.
I'm not sure. I would love to have seen. I don't know. I don't see it here. I don't know if it actually has it, but I would have loved to have seen someone post an image of all of these things put together to see them like the color images, see them side by side to see the actual size difference. Because, these images, the size difference is much more viewable compared to the white resin models.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there's a pretty decent picture of, and it's not one of the regular, Mogwai that you're looking at. In the white, or in the top picture there, the guy's, it says Daffy, which, that does kind of look right. He's painting it, and it looks like a fairly big figure. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, these things might range between 5 and 7 inches. 7 inches is kind of the standard for the NECA figures.
So between 5 and 7 inches, what would that be for price point for NECA?
You're looking at probably anywhere between probably $12 and $15. Maybe even upwards 20.
Well, that's not bad if they have, at least 5 to 7 points of articulation.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, it looks like the head. Well, the best picture is the white one. It looks like the head. Obviously, the head can swivel. Looks like it might have some shoulders, possibly even some rotation at the elbow and rotation around at the hip. So it's not too bad. But really, with NECA, when you're buying the figures, you're not buying them for their articulation as much as you're buying them for the level of detail. And
these are total display pieces. These are not, at least for us, I would think these would be display pieces. These would not be like play around action figures. These would not be, I'm gonna smash into you, Gizmo.
Right. Exactly.
Next time, exactly. Gizmo, and your little human too.
No, and you're absolutely right. But that's kind of the the crux of NECA themselves. They put out decent, slightly articulated so you can get some kind of posability statues of the guys.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got staying with NECA toys. Just when you thought they pulled me out, they pull me back in. We've got NECA's doing a Scarface figure.
Yes. Now, I first was made aware of this in NECA on Twitter. Every now and then releases pictures of things that they have coming out and what showing off.
Mm-hmm.
And in one picture, there was a white resin version, and it was clearly Tony Montana, and you could instantly tell who it was. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, it looks fantastic. But now the colored images, as I said, NECA is kind of one of those, you're buying them for the look and the detail. This one does not look very good to me at all.
Really?
The face on it just looks horrid. Absolutely horrid. I mean, the rest of it is just, a standard body. I mean, it very well could be just a reused body with slight, retooling. But the head on it, I really don't like. He's got the whole, with his lip is down and I'm Tony Montana. I mean, very disappointed in the look on that one. Very disappointed. I'm hoping that it's just a picture and that in actual toy form, it's going to look a little bit better. But it's going to be one of those ones where if I see it in a store, that's what's going to determine whether or not I buy it. If when I look at it in the store in hand, if it looks good, I'll probably buy it. If it's not, it's going back on the shelf and I probably won't even think twice about it.
Yep.
That's just me.
Oh yeah, no, that's more than fine. I don't really have any interest in it either. Just because I'm not really into those figures. The next news story is we have in-package images of Masters of the Universe Classics Megator and Man-E-Faces.
That's my Megator impression.
Yeah, what do you think of Megator's in-package picture?
It kind of looks weird. Kind of looks weird to me. I look at him and it looks like he's got like this big grin on his face. He doesn't. This is one of the oversized figures.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that he's probably going to have similar articulation to what Titus had, which is not as good as the regular figures, and
that's probably because not just because of Titus's thing as well, but with Megator, he comes with a huge giant ball and chain that's metal. So I'm assuming all the budget went into that.
Oh, that's very possible,
Or some majority of the budget went to that.
It's very possible. It's a decent looking figure. It's part of the whole Titus and King Grayskull backstory and stuff, which is for the most part just kind of made up BS that they're doing. They want to try to incorporate the characters that were random in comic books and things of that nature, so they try to create some kind of storyline for them, and that's fine. I don't mind, but I don't know, for casual fans, this is why I kind of don't like the whole I've never been on a show where I've been able to talk about Masters of the Universe Classics with you guys before, but so I don't know if this has been said, but my one of my biggest problems with the line is the whole subscription idea. Now it's a fantastic idea, but they don't tell you what figures you're getting. And you have to agree to buy whatever they give you. And this is a figure that I would not want. So you're paying the premium price for a big figure, which is what, $30? Is that how much this thing goes for?
Something like that. Yeah.
$30 or $40 or whatever it is. And this is a character I have absolutely no interest in whatsoever. Same with Titus. Same with any of the new adventure He-Man
Yeah.
crap. Optic, that was him.
Yeah.
There are characters that I absolutely have zero interest in, yet when you sign up for the subscription, you're only told maybe like the first 2 months of the subscription, and you're signing up for that. And it's kind of a disappointment in my mind, and this is a figure that I wouldn't want.
Yeah, and I can kind of see your point, and I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, there's lots of, like, even after you buy the subscription, there's lots of news. I mean, New York Toy Fair, up until then you've got, up until San Diego Comic-Con, you've got Chicago, or not Chicago, C2E2, C3E3, whatever the hell it's supposed to be. So we find out through the year what it's going to be. Or in the case of, I think it was the case of New York Toy Fair, they showed off everything up until July or August.
Right.
And then of course at Comic-Con they're going to show off from September to December. But again, I see what you're saying about, like, last year, November, whatever the cutoff date was to get a subscription.
Right.
I see what you're saying as far as not knowing what it is, but we still knew. I believe we knew in November last year that Bo or whoever was going to be for the January figure.
We were told what the exclusive figure was going to be, and we were told what the January figure was going to be.
Yeah.
Which ended up getting reversed, I think, too.
That's because Bo wasn't ready yet.
Right. Which. That's a whole nother thing to get into. You're gonna have to bring me on one of these shows for Masters of the Universe.
I know. We will.
But I mean, I understand what you're saying, that they do at least, let us know, but by that point in time, it's already too late. We're already signed up. We're already committed into it. They don't have to tell us anything. The fact that they do is, sure, it's nice, but most of the time we find out, like, fuck, alright, I signed up for this? This is stupid. And that's typically
Let's move on to a character you do like.
The character that I do like,
Manny Faces,
which it has always been a favorite of mine, is Manny Faces, and the character has always appealed to me. Was always a fun character, and I was always wondering if they're actually going to do this guy. I think he looks fantastic. I know there's some kind of controversy with the coloring of him because it was I
think it was between the original toy coloring or the comic coloring.
Right.
Or, like, you could have half and half between the two.
Yeah.
And there was a vote that Mattel did, and I believe that the toy coloring won out.
Yeah, something like that. But, I mean, I just really think that the figure is fantastic looking.
Yeah.
I love the way he looks. I love how you look at that guy, and that is one decent thing that I can say about the Masters of the Universe Classic line, that they do a very good job of hearkening back to the original figures and giving you that same look and that same feel. And this is a perfect example of them taking what they already had with the figure and just updating it and making it a much better looking figure. This is definitely, and these are the August figures, aren't they?
Yeah, Manny is, I believe so. Let me look up here. Manny and Megator are August.
Yeah.
Let's see, coming with secret. Both figures coming with secret accessory. Facebook page has been updated with news item, Master Universe Classics. Yeah, these are the August figures. So, I mean, they still gave us, and they gave us these back in the beginning of the year. They gave us these at New York Toy Fair, but we still don't know the only thing that I really know, because I don't go over to Matty Collector's News. I don't go to Mattel's news. I don't go to, like, if I see something on Twitter or if I see something on their Facebook page, I'll click on it. I'm not so plugged in that I know every single thing about the line.
Right.
But I do know that there is one, outside of Queen Marlena, which is the SDCC exclusive, there is one more female figure coming this year. And I think that's pretty much all we know about the rest of the subscription year.
Well, is the female figure you're talking about that new Tila?
No.
So there's another
Battleground Tila will be coming out She's not SDCC. She's before that. Battleground Tila, I think, comes out next month, or I don't know. No. There's one more. Apparently there was going to be 3 female figures this year. The Battleground Tila, which is a tribute to her comic book self. Queen Marlena, which is the SDCC 2011 exclusive. And then one more.
Oh, yeah. June it's going to be the Faceless one, Battleground Tila, and then the issue of Grizzlor.
Right. Oh, the other one was Catra, but the 4th female figure, we don't know what it is yet.
I'm trying to think of who it could be. It's got to be someone from She-Ra.
I think everybody's hoping for a sorceress.
I think they're hoping for a sorceress, but I think and I could be wrong, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I know we probably won't get a Filmation sorceress, obviously. We may get, like, some sort of comic image sorceress, or they could try to do what they did with Catra, kind of, this is the model sheet, this isn't the cartoon. Right. They could try to sneak that in. Honestly, what I really want is, I would love to get a 2002 sorceress.
Yeah, and that's, I don't see why that wouldn't be possible.
So
that should be doable, but yeah. So Manny Faces looks like pure win to me, and that's about it. Megator looks like butt kiss.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break from the news and come back with a couple of more news stories.
Movie Week in Review is the Geekcast Radio Network's weekly movie podcast. Steve and Mike take a look back on their favorite films and give you their thoughts. They also bring in co-hosts at times. If you are a movie buff, listen to M-Wire only on GeekCastRadio.com.
Emerging from the dark humor that was the Beast Unleashed podcast, Steve Megatron, TFG and Mike, and Pecan Court Michael move on to Transformers Animated, coming June 26, 2011, Transformation Animation Podcast. 15 podcast episodes covering all 3 seasons of Transformers Animated and the awesome toy line as well. We will also have cast and crew interviews, so get tapped this summer with the Geekcast Radio Network's next Transformers franchise podcast, Transformation Animation Podcast.
Decepticons, transform and rise up.
Coming Halloween 2011 is Legends of the Dark Knight, Geekcast Radio Network's next DCAU podcast. Join Steve Megatron and TFG1 Mike as they cover every Batman episode from the DC Animated Universe. From Batman the Animated Series to the films and Batman Beyond. So join us October 31st, 2011. For Legends of the Dark Knight, which you can find on iTunes and the web at geekcastradio.com.
Welcome to a collaboration between the Geekcast Radio Network and the Pop Culture Network. This is From the Command Center, the podcast. I am your host, TFG1 Mike from the GCRN, and joining me is Zordon himself. Scotty Cash.
That's right, Scotty Cash from the Pop Culture Network, and today we're introducing you to the audio version of From the Command Center, the podcast that will entail our intake on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the episodes, the seasons, and all that other good stuff.
Thundercats!
we are back with a few more news items here. This time around, it's all about Thundercats. First up is the Tower of Omens playset.
Tower of giant ass.
Yeah, this thing doesn't look too good.
It's terrible. It comes with like a gate, a tower, and then I don't even know what, like a little catapult maybe.
Yeah, this thing just.
The only thing that looks halfway decent about the whole thing is the and I don't even know who that is. A clear figure, Tigra.
Yeah, it looks like Tigra.
Yeah, I had to zoom in and take a look. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But no way am I gonna buy that lump of poop.
This is like, they could, like, we have come so far since the 80s in toy design. Like, I know that they're marketing these new toys to kids, and they also have the Thundercats Classics or Collector's Line or whatever the hell they're going to call the classic stuff for the 80s stuff.
Right.
But you mean to tell me in almost 30, 35, 40 years, you could not actually build a playset that doesn't have two separate pieces, that is just one piece? Like, that's one thing I never, like, I love Castle Grayskull to death. One thing I never understood about that playset is it opening and the whole, like, I never got that. I never had my Castle Grayskull open. But anyway, this thing is just so weird looking.
It's terrible looking. That's all I can say. It's terrible looking. Now, isn't there supposed to be another version of, I swear I saw it. A whole, the Thundercats lair, I swear there's another version of the toy that we saw at
the Tower of Omens, you mean?
Yeah.
There probably is. They're probably making it in two different scales, I guess, but I don't.
This is obviously, the smaller scale one, and the more that I keep looking at the figure of Tigra, it doesn't even look like he's articulated.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like there's any knee joints or elbow joints, or it looks like we're getting a Green Lantern figure again with this. No.
So, moving on to the Thundercats 2011 Sword of Omens and Roleplay official images. Sword of Omens, Deluxe Sword of Omens, and Claw Shield. So, basically, you have two different swords here? Or is it one sword that does... Oh, I see. It's one sword that does it. Okay, that's cool.
It's got the whole, extendo sword thing going like the Star Wars sword, but then it opens up and you can do the whole eye thing, and it's really cool looking. The whole glove idea though is
that claw is very anime style.
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest problems that I have with the whole new cartoon is I don't particularly like the look of it, but that's how I felt with Transformers Animated. So hopefully the story, which is what brought me around for Transformers Animated, hopefully the story for the new Thundercats will make me enjoy it.
Yes. And then we have the Thundercats vehicle assortment. Honestly, the only, the vehicles that they have listed here is Lizard Cannon with Slythe, Thunder Racer with Lion-O, Thunder Racer with Tigra, and Thunder Tank with Snarf. Snarf aside, the only one out of these vehicles that I'm really looking forward to is that Thunder Tank. That Thunder Tank looks amazing.
I really do like the look on that. Now, it appears that you have these other little, what did you call them? These little jet things on the side? Or these extra...
Thunder Racers?
Yeah, the Thunder Racers. Those appear to be... I'm guessing, I could be wrong, but those appear to be sold separately. And it looks like they attach on the side of the Thunder Tank, which I think looks really cool.
Yeah. It does look really cool. The Thundertank itself, without the Thunder Racers, looks amazing.
Oh, it does.
I mean,
It absolutely does.
Like I can hear the music swelling up right now from the old show, because that was one of my favorite things about Thundercats was every single thing had its own theme song. The sort of moments had a theme, the heroes had a theme, the villains had a theme, every single vehicle had its own theme song, and I just love that Thundercats that Thunder Tank theme music when Panthro would be working on it or when he would be rescuing Lion-O on it. It was just amazing.
When it would just show up. I mean, it's without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to be buying these.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this kind of before, and now I'm looking at the pictures because those little speed racer doodads, I'm just going to call them Thunder Light Cycles because they look like light cycles from Tron.
Thunder Racers, but okay.
That's what I'm going to call them.
Okay.
From what I'm gathering, they look like they push into a slide on the side of the Thunder Tank, and when you push a button, the Thunder Tank lifts its claw, and the little light cycle comes shooting out of it, which I think looks great. And they come with figures, which is definitely nice. It comes with what we got? We got Lion-O there.
Yeah, Slithe, Lion-O, and Tigra.
Yeah. So I mean. But now I'm looking at the figures, and it looks as if they have knee articulation, but no elbow articulation. Which, I guess I can live with that because the Thunder Tank is just that badass.
Yeah.
I love the way it looks. I think it's fantastic. I am instantly buying these things. In fact, I know a guy who used to work for Bandai, who I'm going to contact and see if he actually has any buddies of his that. They might be able to,
Yeah, but these look really super awesome. That Thunder Tank is just nothing but awesomeness right there. So we are going to move on to a quick discussion about Transformers. Surprise, surprise.
Transformers.
We are back, and yesterday, because we were recording this on the 17th, May 16th, 2011 was Dark of the Moon Day at toy stores everywhere.
I love how people are giving it its own special Dark of the Moon Day. Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely.
Okay, so.
Yes.
The new line for the new movie, they're supposedly showing up or being at stores now. There was a bunch of people on Twitter, Facebook, wherever, YouTube, wherever, went out, tried to find some. They found some. They didn't find everything because obviously the stores were still putting the stuff out. You don't have to worry about Dark of the Moon Day. You already got them all.
Yeah, I mean, people are like, you're not going out and you're not doing the great toy hunt like the rest of us? I'm like, no. I don't need to, but
I love when P.O. said on Twitter, "Do you need a shockwave?" And you're like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm fine, thank you. But it's a new toy line, so there's going to be some excitement with it, and it's the new movie.
Right.
It's just what cracks me up is there's so much interest in going out and buying these, yet. Before these toys came out and we were reviewing them, everybody was hating them. Like, I'm not going to buy anything from it. Yet all those people that, I'm not going to buy anything, they're going out buying stuff. So, it's really kind of funny to see. But, I mean, I constantly told people, they're like, I'm going out on, because it was Monday they were released. Yesterday was Monday.
Yeah.
And I had people say, I'm so excited. I'm going out on the 15th, and I'm going to look for them, and I'm going to buy a bunch of them. I'm like, okay, so 16th rolls around, and obviously stores are going to be putting them on shelves and stuff, but I tell these people, I say, just because it's a release date doesn't mean that stores are going to have them out. I mean, I'm curious, and I didn't do it yesterday, and I should have, just because I'm kind of curious. I should have went to my local stores to see if they actually put anything out because my stores around here are usually pretty lazy about doing that kind of stuff. And I'd bet you I got 2 Targets, a Toys R Us, and a Walmart that I go to. That's in my immediate area.
Right.
I would guarantee you that at least one of those 3, they didn't put anything out. Just because, for whatever reason, they didn't get to it yet or whatever. So, I mean, everybody just magically saw the 16th as this day that they're gonna walk in and like, oh, it's like the pearly gates of heaven were gonna open up and there was gonna be Dark of the Moon toys just all over the place. And I'm like, you guys need to just relax a little bit, because even if you are lucky and your store did stock them, I'll bet you scalpers probably got those things before you are going to. So, I don't know, but it's good buzz. I mean, I'm happy to see people going out and buying them, but it's kind of to me.
The only one that I'm really interested in is Shockwave. He looks amazing. Leader Sentinel looks good, but I just don't like the alt mode on him.
Why? What's wrong with the alt mode?
Oh, it looks weird.
Weird how?
Oh, it looks weird to me. It doesn't look like, well, I guess it's better than a snowplow.
Well, is that because you're comparing Sentinel Prime from the movie to Sentinel Prime from animated?
No, I'm not really comparing them. I'm just saying when I first saw the videos of him, the alt mode to me, what is he supposed to be, a fire engine?
He's what is known as a Rosenbauer fire truck or whatever. His alt mode is one of the fire trucks that's used in heavy duty type of firefighting, such as when there is a plane accident on a runway in an airport.
Okay, see, I don't think I've ever seen a fire truck look like that. Even ones that do that kind of stuff, I just don't see. I don't think in real life, in movies, in TV, I don't think I've ever seen a fire truck look like that.
Oh.
As far as just the overall, he looks more like a fire truck military carrier thing rather than an actual regular old fire truck.
Well, he's a fire truck they use them on military bases as well.
Fair enough. But
it is accurate looking. Regardless if you think it's weird, it's an accurate representation of that style of fire truck.
That's cool. So if you hadn't have gotten the figures when you did, what would you be hunting for if you were hunting?
I'd probably buy anything. I mean, it's
I like that some people actually set themselves a cap this year with this line instead of what they did with the Revenge of the Fallen line.
Yeah, because that's obviously that always works. It's my bit, and I say this a lot to a lot of people, that the figures that are from the Dark of the Moon line are not bad figures. They have problems, but that's true with everything. Our biggest problem, in my opinion, is that we constantly compare what we're getting to what we already got. And, for example, a lot of people really like Topspin. A lot of people really like Roadbuster. They like Megatron. But that's because these are all brand new. There's nothing previous to compare them to. Now, I know you can say Megatron, we've got another Megatron figure, but we never got one where he's a truck.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's, everyone's like, and Skids is kind of a worthless piece of crap toy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Skids.
There's, people look at him, like, ooh, the Ratchet figure, that's a nice figure, but he's too small. Or Bumblebee. Oh no, it's another Bumblebee figure. One of the biggest things is when you compare toys from the original G1 toys to toys that we have now from the movie, in the 80s, we had a shit ton of Transformers. They weren't always on the show. They were on the show every other show or whatever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Hoist wasn't in it all the time, but we got a toy. So there was always places for Hasbro and Takara to go to make a new toy, or or whatever. Now we're limited to Bumblebee and Optimus Prime and Megatron and Starscream and Ironhide. We have a very limited number of actual Transformer characters. So in my mind, it naturally makes sense for Hasbro to do a lot of one character, thus why we have a shit ton of Bumblebees.
My problem with the Bumblebee shit ton is that it's like, probably, I think, in my opinion, the best one that I've seen so far is the Human Alliance one.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, they change paint colors here and there a little bit. They change black to maybe a lighter shade of gray. They'll change the transformation in each one. And obviously, the Bumblebees are over several different class types.
Right.
The only way that they are going to get me to buy a movie Bumblebee, and I don't count the Transformers Prime version as movie Bumblebee because that's for the cartoon.
Right.
The only way I would ever buy a movie Bumblebee is if they made him a damn convertible.
Bumblebee?
Yes, Bumblebee.
Why would you want Bumblebee as a convertible?
Because it's something different. It's not something that happened every other toy in the line.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, because you can't use the whole thing, well, he never was a convertible in the movies. Well, he was never a black and yellow,
True.
paint, so I mean, that you can't really use that as a, but I mean, yeah, that definitely makes sense. My biggest thing is, it's Bumblebee. So this is who Hasbro and who the movie people have focused their attention on, primarily because, it was even said that, the Transformers movie, at least the first one, was about a boy and his car. So naturally we're going to get a lot of Bumblebees. Bumblebee kind of went away in the second movie. There's a lot of problems with the second movie just in general. So it's hard to really kind of point your finger at something, but
Right.
I mean, with Bumblebee, he kind of like faded away. I mean, and my girlfriend made a good point. When Optimus Prime died in the second movie, my girlfriend's like, why is Sam so upset about that? He didn't really hang out with Prime, in like the first movie, or really care about him. It was always him and Bumblebee. So I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they should have had Bumblebee die in that scene. It would have been more powerful. And it would have made more sense to the audience who we were introduced as, it's Bumblebee and Sam, in their relationship. But it's with the toys, it's just something that I think we're going to have to deal with.
I think that with movie Bumblebee, the other thing with movie Bumblebee is you can market him 20 million different ways to children.
Yeah.
You've got look at Target's exclusives. You had the transforming DVD case of Optimus and Bumblebee.
Right.
You've got face masks, role-play helmets, role-play blasters, whatever. You've got all this stuff that you can market towards kids. And you've got all these other toys that you can market towards other, teenagers or even collectors as well.
Right.
I just want something different for Bumblebee. I mean, I don't want, I get that there are certain ones that could potentially be the penultimate Bumblebee, like Human Alliance, like whatever the leader version of him is going to be, whatever, but I'm tired of seeing the same old damn toy all the time.
Yeah, and I think they've gotten better. With the first movie, there was a lot of just straight up repaints. I think subsequently with the Revenge of the Fallen and now Dark of the Moon, they've repainted them, but they've retooled them a little bit.
Right.
So it's a little bit different, and that's where I was kind of saying in some of my other reviews that it's a little bit different. And kind of, obviously it's the same character, but it's a little bit of a different transformation in some of them that it gives you, you're not bored doing it. And we've already gotten, I mean, in the first, I don't know if it's the first wave or not, but we already got 2 completely different transforming Bumblebee figures. You got the regular Dark of the Moon Deluxe, and then you got the Nitro Bumblebee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they're getting better with it, but I think a lot of people, the biggest reason that they're just getting sick and tired of movie toys is because they're the same characters over and over again with slight modifications that go towards perfecting the figure, but then it's like, oh, I already got 3 versions before this. Why do I want to buy another one knowing that another version's going to come out?
Yep.
So the ultimate Bumblebee would be like the Battle Blades Bumblebee, but in the Dark of the Moon look. Because I mean, obviously it looks a little bit different. He's got the spoiler.
Yeah.
And different kind of pin or the
Pinstriping.
Yeah, pinstriping. I don't know whatever. That would make me happy, but I don't know. The Human Alliance would be even better if we could get a new Human Alliance version of Bumblebee. Especially if this is going to be the last movie, then this is the last time we're going to see this specific look for Bumblebee. So who knows?
Yeah. Like I said before, for me personally, I've never liked movie toys. There's only 2 out of the entire, how long is this damn line been going? 3, 4, 5 years now?
Yeah.
There's only 2 figures out of the entire line that I actually like, which is Deluxe Ravage, the original Deluxe Ravage with the purple eye, and this new Voyager Shockwave.
You got a thing for one eyes, huh? The hell?
That was a horn honking in the background, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, you apparently have a thing for toys with one eye. I mean, I don't know why you don't like them. I have no idea.
I like the designs in the film. I just don't like the way that they translate. I don't like the way a lot of them translate to toy form, because it's like, I get why on screen that they have to show every working piece and part.
Right.
I don't understand why on the toys they want to do that as well. Like, I'm the type of person that where the hell's RC? Where the hell's she go?
Which RC?
Take animated I know these are 2 different styles, but like, take animated Rodimus for example. You don't see every working piece looking at him straight on. Yes, you see, his little not mud flaps. You see his little pipes on his legs, but you don't really see his wheels under his chest or on his arms if you're just looking at him straight on. You see just the outside of the exoskeleton of the figure. I don't like seeing the working gears.
But you're also comparing
I know, I'm comparing 2 extremely different toy lines.
Not even toy lines. You're comparing a cartoon to live action. You expect detail. You expect to have a real life car transform into something that looks like a human and not show any kind of sign that he was a car before?
I don't know. It's just.
I mean, it's that's the entire gist of the whole thing. And that's why people that do not like these movies, I hate the Bayverse. Those are the only way you can make those people happy is if you created a new movie that was entirely cartoon. Because in the cartoon world, you can ignore things such as the laws of physics. So,
I know I'm being unrealistic here. I'm just saying
You absolutely are. But you're not the only one. A lot of people sit there and complain about it. I'm like, you guys don't understand that Michael Bay, because everybody trashes Michael Bay, and I'm firmly a defender of him. Everybody trashes him about these, and all he wanted to do was make these movies realistic. So right away he said there's not going to be any mass shifting because you can't explain that. There's no way in a story that has in 2011 now, or even 2007, there's no way that you can scientifically explain with, granted, these are alien robots and so on and so forth, but there has to be some kind of a level of believability with it. You can't just say that a gigantic, and that's why he said that the original Optimus Prime, the flat nose, whatever kind of semi-truck, they couldn't use that because if he transformed without mass shifting, he would be too small. He'd be like 20 feet tall. And that's it. And they wanted Optimus Prime to be like 40 feet tall.
I know, and I get it. Like, I don't have a problem with the actual film designs. I just don't like seeing those designs. I don't like those type of toys. I mean, like Shockwave I can overlook because he looks so awesome. Ravage I can overlook because he looks so awesome because there isn't a whole lot of guts showing out of them. But just, I don't know, man. It's just my opinion. Of course, I can go and look at other lines. I can look at Generations. I can look at whatever else they're going to have. So, I mean, there's so much out there right now for Transformers that no one has to just, this is the movie line. This is all we get. Boo! Granted, some of the Generation stuff isn't showing up now because Dark of the Moon launched, but, there's still other lines and other stuff that the rest of us can have that really don't care about the Dark of the Moon stuff.
See, and I don't, not even necessarily, Darker Moon. It's like, look at the Revenge of the Fallen leader Optimus Prime. That thing is a marvel. Now, it's a toy and it's ridiculously scaled down. Now, my comment to you about not liking the way that the toy aesthetic is you're taking something that has, thousands and thousands of moving parts on a CGI screen to make it look from a robot to a car or whatever. Now you're scaling it down to a toy and you have like 50 moving parts and you have to accomplish the same thing. So it's not fair to draw those kind of comparisons, at least in my opinion. Now, I mean, you don't have to like the way they look, but it's I just don't think people really give it a fair comparison. I mean, you're not comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. You guys are wrong, and I'm right. That's all there is to it.
ToyCast is not responsible for the actions of Team Bottomus. Thank you very much.
The views and opinions expressed by Optibotimus are those of him and not of ToyCast.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Terrible.
Thank you for joining us here on ToyCast. There are still ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on each episode post. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Follow us on Twitter. The show name there is TFToycast. Mine is TFG1Mike. What is your Twitter, sir?
Twitter.com/Optibotimus.
Become a fan on Facebook. Go to Facebook.com/Geekcast Radio Network. Did you set up a direct link for Team Bottomus, or do you know?
I think it's just Facebook.com/Team Bottomus.
Cool. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToyCast and wish you'll join us next time. Be sure to visit our sponsors, BigBadToyStore.com, where you can find all your Transformers and other toy-related needs and more. They do have the brand new listings of the Dark of the Moon toys up. Be careful when you're looking for Shockwave. Make sure you scroll down the page.
Yes.
For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Optibotimus.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.